Hey, it's George. This is going to be a contest entry into Joachim, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Midlife Crisis Rants 100 subscribers contest. He's well over 100. I think he's past 200 now. The rules are to keep it under 20 minutes, which will be the hardest part for me. Show an artist that you don't think your viewers would expect you to be into, and kind of take everyone on a mini journey of how you got to be a record collector and the albums that influenced you. So, I'm gonna try to make this quick. There's a lot of artists that I really like that I don't have physically, that I don't think people would expect I liked. I love Oasis, Public Enemy. Shoot, I had a couple others and they just completely left my brain. Kate Bush. There's another one that I had and I just can't remember. Shoot. Oh, Charlie Pride, George Jones. I do like a lot. Buck Owens is great. I like a lot of 50s, 60s country. Merle Haggard I love Merle Haggard. But the one I'm going to show, the guy I'm going to show is Tom Jones. I love Tom Jones. I think he's fantastic. This is, I think about 7 or 8 Tom Jones. I'll just show a few. This is cool because it has the Sears sticker, live in Las Vegas. And I have so many of them because you see them at thrift stores and no one wants them. And it's like, I'll take Tom Jones. What's this one called? Fever Zone. This has Delilah on it, was the big hit. And then the last one I'll show is Help Yourself, which had the title track is a big hit. So yeah, Tom Jones. Oh, look at that back cover. Look how great that is. Sitting on a chair. Anyway, I love Tom Jones. I think he's great. But I will get into the rest of it. I think as you have seen with certain artists, I get very into the nitty-gritty details. I want the bootlegs. I want the live albums. I want to hear the demos and the B-sides. And the first artist, I want the side and the first artist I ever really got that way about was, let me pull it, Elton John. This is the second album from 1970. But I started listening to Elton John. It started out with CDs. And then what really, I think, kicked it off was my mom came home from a flea market and brought home these 2 records that she got in the dollar bin. This is this is 21 at 33. I really like this album. This is from 1980. Half of it is written with Bernie Taupin, and the other half is another lyric writer. And then this is from 79. This is kind of infamous because he didn't write any of the music. He just came in, and I don't think Bernie Taupin even writes anything on this. He just came in and recorded the vocal tracks, and that was it. There's a few songs I like, not his best album, but, I keep it because that's one of the first ones I got. And then, I don't know how much a while later, I went to the thrift store with my mom, and that's where I found this. This is pretty cool, actually, because it's on Uni. And then this EP, the Tom Bell Sessions, recorded in 77, released 79, has Mama Can't Buy You Love and Are You Ready for Love, the long version. And then this one, which is the one I listened to the most, Rock of the Westies. This is from 75, and I still love this album. Uh, every song it's not a perfect album, but every song I enjoy. Dan Dare, Island Girl, Grow Some Funk. My favorite is probably I Feel Like a Bullet in the Gun of Robert Ford. From everything I've listened to, I think that's probably his best vocal performance on anything ever. Maybe tied with, like, the song Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. But, boy, I'm talking fast. Sorry. Gotta go. But that was the first artist that I started, buying the the singles and 12-inch singles and bootlegs and B-side compilations and stuff of that nature. And Elton John still is, but when I started buying it was even more cheap than it is now. I would not pay more than $5 for an Elton John album then, and I got, unless it was something really special, but I got basically everything. I have a full cube of Elton John, which I really don't listen to that much anymore. I still love him, but I think I have every album from 69 to 88, I want to say. Yeah, because it's Red Strikes Back is the last one I have. And for a while it was just Elton John. I didn't even have a record player. I just bought CDs and listened to CDs and had albums because I could find them really cheap, and I liked how they looked. And I think there was a point where I didn't have a record player, and I maybe had about 15 or 20 Elton John albums. And I just look at them while I was listening to the CD. So, and eventually I got a record player. It wasn't super long after that. But the next artist that I got into after that was this guy, which sounds weird to say this guy. But I was with, it was in Seattle, and I was with my father, and we went to a record store, and he said, pick out a record. And it was, I was going to pick out something I, normally wouldn't spend the money on. And so this was a big step up from, paying $5 for an Elton John album. And that's a reissue of Heroes. And I'd started to get into David Bowie. And I had this album, and I didn't listen to it for a while. It was still Elton John for a while. And then I listened to this, and this was like, whoa. Beauty and the Beast, Joe the Lion, Hero, Sons of Silent Age, and Blackout, I think, are a perfect side. And then side 2, you have V2 Schneider, the ambient tracks, and then Sense of Doubt. And I liked V2 Schneider and Sense of Doubt. And then Moss Garden and Newcoln, I think you pronounce it, kind of started to bore me. And then it's like, bam, out of nowhere, Secret Life of Arabia just hits you over the head. Sorry, there's so much glare. And this is probably tied as my favorite with Station to Station. I don't think Low even holds a candle to Heroes. I like Low, but anyway. So yeah, and Bowie was another artist where I started, listening to. I think it's interesting. A lot of the people answering that, doing a response have a lot more life experience than me, and were around, getting into music pre-internet. And I just think it's kind of interesting how the internet has influenced how I've gotten into things, where I've been able to, instead of waiting 5 years to find an album of demos that I've only ever heard about, I can I can listen to it right now on YouTube. I don't have to search for the Yonkers Young Americans, or not Yonkers. That's the Richard Hell one. The demos for Young Americans or whatever. I can listen to it now even if I don't have it. And so Bowie, I didn't fill up. I didn't get that much of because you couldn't buy Bowie records for $5. I think the cheapest I've ever gotten an original for was I have an original of Young Americans. I bought probably around a little after I got Heroes for 15, and it's pretty good condition. Anyway, I started listening to Bowie, and then I just keep burping. I did a take of this before, and I just kept burping. Sorry, I gotta get a drink of tea. Then I went to a Rite Aid drugstore with my father, and I remember they had a little CD section, and this isn't the copy. This is a one I've bought since. I remember seeing this album in the CD section, and I had no idea what it was. And I thought the guy on the cover looked really, really cool. I just thought he looked cool. And then I flipped it over, and it's like, boy, he does look cool. And I remember reading the song list, and I remember first song is Red Shoes, which might be my favorite Elvis song ever. And I remember reading the titles, and it was discounted. They were getting rid of all their CDs, and it was $7. And I remember asking my father for it, and he was, whole long story I'm not going to talk about, but he was having financial difficulties at the time when I wanted the CD, and he said no. And so I, once again, relating back to that, listened to it on YouTube. We got in the car, and he pulled up Oliver's Army on YouTube, and I didn't like it. I thought it was, I don't know, I just didn't like it. And I kept thinking about it, and thinking about it, and thinking about it, and I kept listening, and I started listening to it, and I kept listening to it, and listening to it, and finally I really liked it. And so I think it was my next birthday, because it was in summer, I think it was summertime, I saw that CD and started getting into him. And for my birthday, my mom bought me this. This is My Aim is True. Normally I show, let's see if I can grab it here. Normally when I show this, I show my Portuguese pressing because I like the cover a little more. But this was the reissue she bought me. And this, along with Heroes, just kind of blew my mind. And I just, I thought, this was kind of the thing that was like, this is what I like. And my parents have always been into music. My mom is very into the first wave of British heavy metal, and she likes Whole Lot and Motorhead and hardcore. And but I really appreciate them not pushing that stuff on me, because most of the stuff I've found on my own through the internet or researching or what have you. And I think that part of what made it so exciting was the discovery of it. And anyway, I could go on about that. And then I was looking on YouTube, once again, the internet, and this music video popped up, and it was Peekaboo by Devo. And I remember watching the music video. If you've seen that music video, it's really weird. It's probably their weirdest, along with Jocko Homo, I'd say. Boy, excuse me. I apologize. Ugh. And I remember watching it, and I really liked the song. And I wasn't sure how I felt about the music. It Not the music, the video. The video, it made me uncomfortable. It made me kind of anxious in a way. But I really liked the song. And then I listened to Whip It, and I didn't like Whip It. I still not super big into Whip It. Anyway, but I found this CD, and I think this was, I know it was under $5. I want to say $3. And I remember over and over again, I had a really crummy little, cheap Walmart CD boombox thing. And I remember playing Jerkin' Back and Forth, Peekaboo, Through Being Cool, Smart Patrol / Mr. DNA, and Jockahoma over and over. Not Jockahoma, Working at a Coal Mine over and over and over. And yeah, so this is my introduction to Devo. It was quite a while till I got an actual album, because once again, it was, I still felt weird about not, at this point, about paying very much for an album, because I was used to the cheapo Elton John albums. And obviously, I pay more than $5 for an album now. Anyway, so that was my introduction to Devo. And then I was once again looking on YouTube, and this album came up, and I really thought the album cover was really cool. And I clicked on it, and I remember I was sitting outside. I think I was making a model kit, and I really, really did not like it. It was too chaotic, and it was this. It was Neat Neat Neat, and then I listened to Fan Club, and I think Fish, and I didn't like it, and now it's one of my favorite albums ever, and yeah. And so, I'm listening to all this, and then I'm getting really, really into all the, nitty-gritty of Elvis Costello stuff, and I find this album, and this is Stiff Live Stiffs. I think this was like $12 in Seattle, and somehow I ended up with a Belgian pressing, which is on blue, but this has Nick Lowe and Reckless Eric, Larry Wallace, Elvis Costello, Ian Dury, and I figured out that, through this, that The Damned and Devo and Elvis Costello were all on the same label at the same time, and, Eno produced the first Devo album, and Eno also worked on Heroes, and so it was just kind of spiraled, and I just, I still kind of just kind of became obsessive about music stuff. And then I was at a record store with my mom, and she pointed out this album, and that is, I'm running out of time, I'm trying to go quick, Girl Trouble's first album, and this introduced me to, I saw video footage of them doing cover of Goo Goo Muck, which led me to the Cramps, which, led me to, like Paul Revere and the Raiders, and led me to psychedelic rock, like Psychedelic Garage, like Lollipop Shop and Chocolate Watch Band. And so this album opened up a lot for me too. So anyway, I'm running out of time. Thank you for watching, and congratulations to Joy Kim on over 200 subscribers. So thanks for watching. Bye.